Oh, that is good for us. He doesn't stay down for long.
This is Blood
If you've been enjoying this content, please make sure to subscribe, comment and like. It really is appreciated. And today we have a Week 6 Division 4 game from the Blood and Tears Perpetual League, hoping to get a ticket to the Blood Bowl World Cup. My name is Jurassic and I am the head coach of Pointy Ear United, an Elven Union team, and we are playing Eiravel with Wight Knights, another Necromantic Horror team. They are the only undefeated team in the league with 5 wins from 5. Maybe this is where Nuffle shows their hand and finally gives the Elven Union a break. Let's see who comes out on top. So with the Elven Union inducements, we were able to buy a Bloodweiser keg. Hopefully that will come in handy. Now we're off to the toss, hoping to win. And the Wight Knights win and they choose to kick. Now Eiravel has lined up the Necromantic Horde in a very tight pack, aiming by the looks of it to blast through the Elven Union. And the Elven Union line up with a broad front across the line of scrimmage. Here comes the kick into the backfield with brilliant coaching, which no one wins. It's a draw. Now the Elven Union starts moving some players up down the left hand side, and Blitzer fails a dodge away due to foul appearance and also the blitz. And oh no! The thrower fumbles the pickup. That is a shocker of a turn. This really gives Necromantic Horror a chance to put the elves on the back foot, and they go with a block on the catcher. Now a blitz coming from the werewolf. Both down, but they have block, and it's a stunned. Lyman moves up. 3 dice on the blitzer. Defender down. Uses fend. Goes down, and that's not even an armor break. Now we're seeing a 2 dice from the Lyman, and he's just pushing him around. I'm sure Eiravel would have hoped for more from his block so far. And now a foul! Oh, that's not nice. Knocked out. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. The Elven Union's second turn. Looks like we're going to be moving down the right hand side now. We get a blitz on the lineman, just pushes him out the way. And the thrower manages to pick up the ball. Does a very quick pass over to our catcher, our experienced catcher. And we're just forming up a little cage on the right hand side. A very loose cage, really. Bit of dodging happening. And we're sending a lineman up the other side. Eiravel getting a block, knocking down the lineman. The Flesh Golem and Wraith both making their move. Getting bodies behind. And here comes the blitz on our catcher. Both down. Stunned. That's not going to be too helpful. And the werewolf comes to cover. And also the Wraith. And now a foul. Another foul. Oh, good call, ref. Will he keep it? Will he keep it? Yes. Player sent off. That should help us somewhat. And that brings a turnover. Now a blitz from our catcher on the Flesh Golem, who's got stand firm. And he dodges out and away down the middle of the pitch. Our thrower dodges out, passes to our experienced catcher, who runs up the field and passes it to our experienced catcher. Our injured catcher gets up, and now we're just moving players to hopefully give us some sustenance over here. A failed dodge by our lineman. Need to re-roll that so we can get the coverage there. And getting most of our players away. Now, what's the Necromantic Horde going to do here? We see a block from the Flesh Golem using his head there. Gets a defender down and a stunned. Lyman! Oh! Another knockdown. That's not good. And Eiravel managing to get a lot of players surrounding our ball carrier. The werewolf goes for the blitz, has frenzy, pushback, frenzy, and gets another pushback and reroll. And unfortunately, that is definitely not what you want to see from the Necromantics player. Now the thrower comes out. We have another failed dodge by our lineman. But that allows him to get 2 dice with his mate on lineman, gets a defender down. That's good. Now our catcher moves out to cover the Wraith. And our thrower manages to get a 1 dice on the lineman. We get a push that pushes back our experienced catcher, which hopefully gives him the opportunity to just dodge out of 1 tackle zone, and he completely fluffs his line. Dodge, reroll, fail, ball goes tumbling away, and that looks like one of our best chances for the game gone. The Wraith gets a both down, has block. Now the werewolf frenzy, push back. And then he gets defender down, and it's another knocked out. What's that? 3 knocked out so far. The Wraith goes, gets a defender down. No armor break. Now the werewolf manages to pick up the ball and is able to run it down the left hand side as we watch. What can we do from here? We get a 1 dice on the werewolf. Defender stumbles. Then our catcher tries to dodge away but fails on a foul appearance roll. So we have to use our blitzer on the Wraith. Gets a pushback. The Wraith moves into the way. That's not ideal. Can we dodge and get into contact? That is a no and a knocked out. Turnover. That really opens up the pitch for that werewolf as he laughs his way past the 4 knocked out Elven Union players. Flesh Golem using his head once again. No armor break. Then the lineman gets both down but wrestles it to the floor. The Wraith blitzes the lineman, gets a defender stumbles, and that really makes it impossible for the Elven Union to get back and cover that werewolf. The other Wraith blocks our catcher, and that's a defender stumbles. No armor break again. Our lineman with tackle gets up and kind of doesn't really get far. Other lineman gets up. Oh, it's just a lot of getting up right now. And another failed dodge by a catcher. Stuns himself, pulling himself on the floor. And the werewolf is now able to run down into the corner. Flesh Golem blitzes our closest lineman to the werewolf. Gets a push back. That's enough. The other flesh golem gets a block, defender down, and another knocked out. The bells really are ringing in the heads of the Elven Union team. Now the Necromantic Horror team placing players between themselves and the ball carrier, dragging out this half. Both down roll there on a 2 dice, rerolls for a pushback. He's got rerolls to use. Both down, chooses that, doesn't use the reroll, and it's a head injury. Oh my, and doesn't regenerate. That's unfortunate. Now the lineman dodges away to get closer to that werewolf, inching forward every turn. Trying to dodge away, we waste reroll to use that. And that's it, turn over. Now the werewolf moves out from the corner a little bit more. We're going to probably see, yes, there's the blitz from the other werewolf. Defender down on the first roll, 2 dice, that's what they were after. Stunned. And then the rest of the Necromantic Horde just getting in the way of the players, ensuring any movement is going to require at least a dodge. Final turn for the Elven Union. There's a dodge. Another dodge. Running down. Turn 8 for the Necromantic Horror, and he's going to be using his blocks up here, trying to remove some players. Get them both down. Then a defender stumbles. Another defender stumbles. Using the flesh golem. Now the werewolf comes in with the blitz. Defender stumbles. And another knocked out. That's 6 knocked out. And then he eventually runs in the ball with the werewolf. That's 1-0 for the Necromantic Horror on the last play of the half. Did well to recover. Some unfortunate luck there with the dodge by the catcher. Otherwise that was surely a touchdown. Oh my. Only 1 recovery from knockdown, even with a Bloodweiser keg. That is shocking for the Elven team. Leaving us with only 7 players to kick off this second half. And the Necromantic Horror are really pushing for a fight here. All lined up on the line of scrimmage. And that kick goes right into the backfield. Beautiful kick there. And again, the kickoff result is a draw. Flesh Golem does the block. Knocks him down. No armor break. Werewolf. Werewolf. Defender down. Stunned. Other Flesh Golem. Defender stumbles. Stunned. And that's 3 of the Elven Union players down. And the Wraith comes in with a blitz. Both down, but block on both players. Good to see someone standing up for themselves. Now the Necromantic Horror are able to swarm the few Elven Union players on the pitch. Now the werewolf fails the pickup, but reroll ensures success. Now our catcher in the backfield is able to run up, provide coverage on the lineman for a 1 dice on the Wraith. The other lineman manages to dodge away and gets a both down blitz. Got a bit of movement away. But we're going to have to settle for keeping our line all over the place there. Werewolf brings the ball to the line of scrimmage for the Necromantic Horror. The werewolf blitzes our lineman, gets a defender down, no armor break. One thing we can say about this game is it has been relatively bloodless. Only knocked out players so far for the Elven Union. Now our blitz from our lineman on lineman gets defender down, 1 dice, getting lucky with some of these blocks. But not much more we can do at this stage. A 1 dice on the Wraith from the experienced catcher, gets a pushback, doesn't follow up. And now we dodge a catcher away. And then we send a lineman into the back there, giving Eiravel something else to think about. 2 dice block from the werewolf on the lineman, gets us stunned. The flesh golem gets a defender down, no armor break. Other flesh golem comes in with a blitz and it's a pushback. He's just pushing them around. For all of their strength, they are not doing the one job they were employed for. Looks like Eiravel's going to be bringing up the ball there. A little cage forming up. It's going to seal the top there. Got the players to do it. Now will the Necromantic Horror inch this ball forward, or will they go for the touchdown and secure the 2 touchdowns? Some movement for the Elven Unions. We get a dodge for a blitz, defender down, 2 dice on the lineman. No armor break, but gets into base-to-base contact with the ball carrier, and we dodge our lineman out of the way and just cover. And we get a 2 dice from the lineman, defender down. Oh, stunned. Bring the ball out, and another cage forming up. 2 dice block from the Wraith on the lineman. It's just a push back. Lots of pushing and shoving going on today. And covers the rest of the players. Right, Elven Union, come on. Let's do this. Blitz from our experienced catcher, gets the defender, stumbles. Wraith goes down, and we're in base to base with the werewolf again. That's a dodge from the lineman, fails. Choose not to use a reroll, and that's a turnover. Flesh Golem coming with the blitz, another push. Eiravel will not be happy with the performance from the Flesh Golems today. Now the werewolf gets a push. Frenzy, another push. Uses that to push the lineman into the werewolf and get them out. Well played. Eiravel using their numbers to really suffocate the Elven Union. A 3 dice on our lineman, and that's just a pushback, not what they wanted. And with that, the Necromantic Horror run the ball in for a 2-0 lead. Wasn't going to take any risks on that. And 2 more Elven Union players recover from knocked out, but that really isn't good for the Bloodwiser keg. The Necromantic Horror set up with the same positions as the previous one, but the Elven Union are really trying to push down this right side, and the kick from the Necromantic Horror is in the worst place for the Elven Union team. They have got a lot to do here, and thankfully this time the thrower manages to pick up the ball on the first attempt. Now the players are very much showing their hand, spearheading into the right hand side of the Necromantic Horror team. A lot of movement, not a single block thrown there. Now the flesh column. Now the flesh golem comes with a blitz, and that's a push once again. I think he's lost all of his aggression. And now the Necromantic Horror start the swarm around the Elven Union players. So now we have all of the players down the right hand side. We maybe should have left that player there in the center as a catcher, so he could have run down the left. But let's see what we do from this position. Always better in hindsight. We get a 1 dice, a defender down, and that's a badly hurt. Yes, a removal for the Elven Union, but that doesn't stay down for long. Then we get our blitz from our catcher on a lineman. Defender down. And we're able to move our experienced catcher out the way. And the thrower runs up the right hand side. Doesn't pass. But now we get some of our other players out the way. We get a failed dodge, reroll. That would have been catastrophic if we hadn't. And we just created a little gap for our catcher to run through there. The flesh golem blocks, finally gets a defender stumbles. Doesn't break the armor though. The other flesh golem still pushing people around. Now the lineman gets a defender stumbles and frees up the Wraith. And we see the Necromantic Horror moving players over to the left hand side now. And that werewolf comes from deep in the backfield, goes for it twice to create a shield. But that does very little for our catcher, who dodges past, gets out the way, hands off to our experienced catcher, who uses a blitz. Knocks down the werewolf, stunned, and then runs into the corner. Now we get a 2 dice on that Wraith, gets a push. That's not ideal. We're going to have to provide some coverage with our catcher there. Let's get players all over and in the way. And then a dodge there from our lineman, a failure. And that's a turnover. Will Eiravel even bother to stop this touchdown? Or will they just try to cause some damage? And that golem gets attacker down. 2 dice, re-rolls it. And it's a pushback. Some stern words will be said there. Now the Wraith gets a 2 dice, both down, but has block. The other stunned. Flesh golem, defender down, no armor break. The Wraith blitzes our rookie catcher, gets a defender stumbles, no armor break. Lyman, defender down 2 dice, no armor break. Now we hand off to our experienced catcher to get some star player points. Why not? And that's 2-1. Final score. Very well played by Eiravel. Unfortunate for the Elven Union team to have so many knocked out and not recover. And also that failure to dodge away in that first half to pick up the first touchdown, which ultimately then went to the White Knights. A very good game, very combative, and good for the Elven Union not to have any injured players going into the next game, and that really does show on the statistics. And if you like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you would have done different.